Avengers Endgame capped off one of the greatest film sagas of all time.
I knew it.
The Infinity Saga of the MCU is rife with all-time movie quotes, and most of them are in the grand finale. Here are the 10 best quotes from Avengers Endgame. Before traveling back to the 70s in a risky move for a second attempt at retrieving the Tesseract, while also hoping they will find more Pym particles, Tony took a page out of Cap's book and gave a rousing, inspirational speech. He said, "It's not about how much we lost, it's about how much we have left. We're the Avengers. We gotta finish this. You trust me?" Cap responds with a definitive, "I do." This moment shows that Tony is all in. Despite his hesitations at the beginning regarding losing his family, he shows how true of a hero he is. It sets him up for a later surprise sacrifice play, capping off one of the greatest superhero careers of all time. Obviously, Cap's signature line of Avengers Assemble stole the show, but some of his other dialogue was brilliant in a less obvious way. After leading support groups, he talks to a friend in Black Widow who is struggling to move on. In a reassuring way, he tells her, "I keep telling everybody they should move on. Some do, but not us." Cap is a great many things, and stubborn is definitely one of them. This was the moment we as an audience were reassured that despite Cap's attempt to help others get over the atrocities of Thanos, he never would, setting up the greatest heist in the MCU. One big surprise after the 5-year time jump following the snap was what happened to our favorite green giant, the Hulk. In order to explain his new appearance to Cap, Natasha, and Scott, Bruce says, "For years, I've been treating the Hulk like he's some kind of disease, something to get rid of, but then I started looking at him as the cure." Not only did this tie up the issues Bruce and the Hulk were having in Infinity War, but the entire MCU to this point. Bruce and the Hulk finally realized they could work together, reaching their full potential, at least for now. Who would have thought a raccoon could make us feel so much? Even before the reveal of his haunting origins, he was tugging at our heartstrings. In Endgame, he and Thor are tasked with retrieving the Reality Stone. Realizing that Thor is in full panic mode, he tries to snap him back to reality by saying, "You think you're the only one that lost people? What do you think we're doing here? I lost the only family I ever had." This gave us further insight that the furry mammal with a tough exterior really does care about his family that he lost. There's nothing quite as memorable as someone's last words, even if a younger version of that someone shows up later in the film. Before Thor relieves him of his head, Thanos offers one last moment of thanks to Nebula by saying, "Ah, thank you, daughter. Perhaps I treated you too harshly." In an almost sarcastic tone, Thanos attempts to give his adopted daughter a moment of closure that he believes she wants. Little does he know she was almost as happy as everyone else to see his head roll across the floor. Many people fell on hard times after the snap, but no hero felt it as hard as Hawkeye. After his entire family disappeared, he became Ronin, a violent vigilante brutally murdering the criminal underworld in the world Thanos left behind. His explanation to one of his victims who asked him why was simply, "You survived, half the planet didn't. They got Thanos, you get me." This showed how dark of a side Clint had, brutally murdering people who he believed wrongly survived the snap, while innocent people like his family didn't. One of the most unexpectedly touching moments was the closure Tony felt with his dad. After traveling back in time, Tony runs into Howard, taking on the pseudonym Potts after his wife. He soon realizes that he is in a time where his mother is pregnant with him and gets his father's honest thoughts on having a son. Upon leaving, Howard says, "Let me tell you, that kid's not even here yet, and there's nothing I wouldn't do for him. Good to meet you, Potts." I think that one was extra special for Tony. Nebula has had one of the best arcs in the MCU, culminating in Endgame when she officially becomes an Avenger to help defeat her adoptive father. After Thanos reveals that he destroyed the stones, the other heroes said it couldn't be true, but Nebula revealed the unfortunate reality with the following quote, "My father is many things. A liar is not one of them." This not only shows how much time she spent with him, but also reveals a fact about Thanos, that he accomplishes his goals through action, not deceit. Ant-Man delivers some of the best and funniest lines in the MCU. One from Endgame comes from his ultimate explanation of his plan, when he says, No, of course not a time machine. This is more like like a time machine." This was a very meta quote, as speculation leading up to the film had fans denying time travel with their every last breath. In one line, Scott Lang helped us accept it. The last and greatest quote comes from none other than the mighty Thor. While he spends the majority of this film beside himself with grief from his failure in the previous film, he does teach us that even gods go through tough times. But that doesn't make them unworthy. Thor's quote, "I'm still worthy," after lifting Mjolnir for the first time since Hela destroyed it, reintroduces us to the god of thunder as someone who is ready to fight again, despite all he had lost. Truthfully, the mark of an Avenger. Which quotes are your favorite from Avengers Endgame, and have any since the MCU's first saga finale been able to top it?